Hi Aquarius, I'm Anisha. You can write to me at tarotbyanisha@gmail.com. You can also visit my website at www.tarotbyanisha.com. And this is your monthly forecast for January 2013 with an annual overview as well. Aquarians, we start this month with a cosmic party happening at a part of your chart that has to do with silence, it has to do with retreat, it has to do with solitude, it speaks about confinement, it speaks about secrets, it speaks about hidden self, it speaks about merging with the spirit. It is the house of karma. We have Sun, Mercury, and Pluto that are going to be transiting this part of your chart. Now, your 12th house is one of the most complex houses because by the time that we do an entire roundup of all the signs and we reach to the 12th house, we're quite tired. That is the time that you want to rest. That's the time where you want to rest your soul, you want to contemplate, you want to think about life, you want to um, rest and see as to how far you have come, take stock of things, take stock of your life, do a pro and a con list. In the traditional astrology, however, this was known as a house of insanity. It was known as a house of prison. It was known as a house of confinement. It was also known as a house of illness. Now, metaphorically, if you were to look at this and you were to apply to the traditional, the modern astrology, it speaks about being a prisoner to your past mistakes. It speaks about being in a prison cell in your mind. It speaks about pacing inside that cell for years and years and letting go of the past hurt that has happened to you. It also speaks about having illusions about the world around you, about how it is that you want the world to be, how it is that you see, and in reality what it actually is. 12th house is also about spirituality. So this is a time where you will be feeling a quite a bit of a tug from inside, from your soul. You would want to either study more or understand more as to how it is that the world really moves, how it is that the higher mind really moves. And I think a lot of you will go out seeking as well, and it's quite interesting. This is also known as a house of self undoing. So one has to be a little watchful about being narcissistic or being too intellectual, that I know everything so much that I do not want or I do not think that any more of knowledge can benefit me in any more way, or you generally operate out of a I, me, and myself. Now, this is also the house of universal imagination. This is a secret doorway to the spirit of what lies inside the heart. And this is a time where a lot of you, besides seeking, are also going to be questioning a lot of beliefs, a lot of values that you have grown up with. I think there is going to be a lot of breaking of those perceptions, conditioning, things that you have sort of trusted in. It doesn't really have to do with religion per se, but it has to do more within the heart. This is, like I said, it's a house of karma, and what it is that you sow is what you reap. You have to be careful when you are in this house, Aquarians, because any kind of manipulation can get backfired very quickly and quite badly. We may think at times about the way karma works is that maybe in next lifetime, and I don't know, it doesn't happen, and how come some people just get away with everything and the karma doesn't seem to work, so on and so forth. But when you have such a strong planetary focus, like I said, you have a cosmic party that's happening in this part of your chart, it's indicating and that this trend is pretty much going to be there for you for the entire year. And you have to be careful about what you do, the actions that you take. Are you harming others with the intention of harming others? Of course, things done unintentionally do not count, but you have to be careful about harming others, about lying, cheating, emotional manipulation, or generally manipulation, not being true to what it is that you do. All of this surfaces quite quickly and it comes back to bite you with uh, surprising swiftness. Karma acts quite fast in this part of the chart. However, whenever you also approach the 12th house, you should approach it with a healthy dose of suspicion as well, because your imagination is really at play at this point of time. So you may I'm not saying you'll start hallucinating, but at times you will see things which are really, or feel things that are not really true, or you may hear of stuff, it's just revalidating things. That is what it speaks about. And confinement, again, staying confined to your own beliefs, from what it is that you have grown up with, the preconceived notions you don't want to explore. And this is a time where the transformation will help. Pay attention to what it is that irritates you or frustrates you when you're in the 12th house, because often the answer will be in the shadow of your own nature. That is where it will be stemming from. It is not going to be coming from outside. So be careful, or rather be watchful of that, Aquarians. Don't think that everybody has a secret agenda and they're out to get you, and they would love to see your downfall and so on and so forth. But the truth is that somewhere it will be emanating from you, from your subconscious, from your fears, something that frightens you, something that you do not want to address, which is there out there, and something that stems from your childhood. 12th house is also, and especially if you have a 12th house moon, for example, you might have had a mother, or you might have a parent, a mother specifically, who could be quite narcissistic, or she could be could have been quite ill physically as you were growing up, and the role of a child and a mother could have got reversed. So the child could be mothering the mother while growing up, and you would have in the process repressed your need to be nurtured. Now, repressing does not mean that it goes away. So, somewhere at the corner of the 12th house, there is still an emotionally hungry child that is sitting there, which still needs to be loved. So, do not ignore that, or rather, do not repress that need inside you, which needs to be nurtured. Let it out. I think if you need the love, or you need that attention, speak about it, ask for it. Don't sort of also, another interesting thing about the 12th house moon is that people, particularly who have this as a very strong aspect in their chart, tend to be excellent caretakers for others with this aspect. However, when it comes to them, they again tend to sort of ignore it, and they are the ultimate picture of self-sufficiency. They quite say, I can quite take care of myself, it is quite all right, and I will be quite all right. And the 12th house is not going to let you ignore this, Aquarians. And this is something which it could challenge you, it could frustrate you, it could bother you, it could anger you as well. But the trick in this is to understand as to where it is that is stemming from. So nurture yourself. This is a time where you need to be good to yourself, pamper yourself. Stay away from a lot of socializing if you can. Try not to be among too much of chattering. Try not to be among huge parties or a lot of heavy duty conferences. Try to be among people, try to be among friends who feed the soul. Try not to be among not just a hostile, but I would say a competitive environment as well. If you're working, of course, that is something which is unavoidable, so that's quite all right. But on a personal level, if you can go for solitary walks, try and take a holiday. I think it's a lovely time to be taking a quite nice holiday. Again, don't get into a place which is infested with tourists. Try to, have these long, quiet walks at a beach, maybe just sitting and reading a book, just walking with your dog. Do these things. They're very therapeutic for you, Aquarians, and they will do you a lot of good. See, the another thing about the 12th house is, while it surfaces and it will bring about a lot of anger, it will bring about the frustration, this is also because you're evolving a lot spiritually. You are seeing things as they are, and they're bothering you now. Maybe friends, people, even siblings, and things change. It is quite all right, but I think somewhere the acceptance of it all, accepting the change, is something which could be a bit painful for you. In the imagination, what you have to do is you have to be the Dalai Lama in your mind, and you have to walk a quarter mile of a library which has to do with your history, and you have to enrich yourself with the information that is there, that you have of your life. You don't have to get upset with what it is that has happened in the past, what has happened since the time you were a child, growing up, rejections, too much of pressure. or it was whether you were constantly competing, being the perfect person, the child, expectations, trying to be brave, trying to shoulder everything, and all this rather than shutting yourself and like I said, being, don't be a prisoner of your own mind. Be the Dalai Lama out here and shine light on the parts of your life which have been painful. Learn lessons from them. It's quite all right, and you can do this at your own whim and fancies. The moment you shut your eyes, you can be taking this lovely long walk, like I said, a quarter long mile walk on the archives of your life. You can pick and choose, you can look at the things at various parts of your life, and yes, learn from them. Enrich yourself with so much of information you have rather than whipping yourself. And the moment you shine a light on your past memories, it's going to be opening, it is going to be helping you open a lot of possible opportunities that are there. I think just shying away from it, just shutting yourself and trying not to address things that are painful are not going to be, there is going to be no growth over there, Aquarius. So be watchful of that. Also, Pluto is there. Now, Pluto is a planet of truth, and Pluto is also a planet of transformation. So, Pluto is going to help you change. Pluto is going to be helping you look at not just the mistakes, but it is also going to be sort of throwing a light on you. It's going to be showing you as to where is it or how it is that things are in reality. And also, I think with this, an interesting aspect would be that you will be speaking the truth quite a lot. I think which a lot of people will find it quite hard to digest, and it could be a tad amusing at times as well, because Aquarian have their own quirky sense of humor, which may not be always appreciated, but it's interesting nonetheless, and it could be sharp at times. So this time with Pluto being there, there could be a sense of saying things the way that they are. You will, maybe earlier if you were packaging the truth, now is the time when you will not be, you will be refusing to package the truth, and you will be saying things, and I think that is nice. I think some way you need to be brave. I think you need this confidence in order to be asking for what you deserve, Aquarius. I think for the last 13 and a half years you've just I will not say sat in a corner, but you have pretty much not asked, you have not voiced where it really hurt. So Venus is going to be joining in the cosmic party, and Venus is going to be bringing around her self validation, confidence. She's going to be helping you make decisions, and of course, Venus is all about parting, socializing, and Venus is about love, beauty, and she also rules money. But 12th house is about, like I said, it's about charity. It's the place where you serve. But Venus is going to be helping you looking at this part of aspect of your life, which is so beautiful. It's going to be, I think, the growth is just going to be, for some people, I think it will bother you, but I would say to a larger piece of it's something which is quite beautiful, wherein that you will find yourself connecting to your higher self. You will find yourself reaching out to other more people, and this is not just uh, something that just sort of moves you temporarily, that you look at it and you say, I'm so sad when I saw this, oh, I wish something or someone would do something about it. But things will really move you from inside. You will be more tuned in. You will also tune in more to people, Aquarians, and I think they could be some very telepathic and psychic friendships as well, and that could be quite interesting. Some bonds will be wherein you will have this sense of trust that has been missing there earlier in the friendships. It will come now, or rather it will start coming back now to you. There's not going to be a sense of wariness with which that you have approached your friends earlier, or other certain friends earlier. So Venus is also going to be helping you make choices, good or bad, whether it is letting go of certain friends, or wherein consciously where you decide just to sort of drift away, or rather I would say that starting 2013 you will cut off rather than drifting away. and there will be some new friendships as well that will be there. Now Mars is also going to be getting active, and thank God for that, because this is not just an entire house where everybody will be walking around with a baggage and saying, oh God, so much on my mind and on my mind and soul and head. But Mars is going to be coming and giving you its energy. So physically you're going to be quite feeling, you would be feeling quite energetic. You will be able to get things done around. However, try not to get too assertive and try not to get aggressive with the Mars being there. With the truth and the Pluto and everything, I think you could be giving people an overdose around you. We have Saturn that has been there in your house, and she's been there since October 5th, 2012, and she carries on being there till 2015. Now, Saturn is, like we all know, she's a planet. Yes, she's a feminine energy, even though by all the characteristic of Saturn we would assume the heavy duty responsibility, the seriousness, the somberness that comes with the planet could be that of a male or a daddy planet. But Saturn is very much a mommy planet, and she's going to be there in this part of your chart, that is your 10th house, that has to do with your career, it has to do with your reputation, has to do with how it is that others perceive you. It is how it is that you conduct yourself socially and also importantly at work. But the good thing over here is that Saturn is quite comfortable in this house, in the 10th house. So that's a good energy to have over here. But Saturn is going to be teaching you lessons as well, and at times not all pleasant lessons. There could be issues with dealing with authority. So I think you will maybe undergo some power struggle over there. It could be how it is that you're managing people, interaction, or it could as simply be the perception that others have of you. Saturn is going to be working as a restraining cop over here. She's going to be sitting at the back and she's going to be telling you, I'm watching you, do not behave like that, do not say that. Or if you are doing it, she will make you redo those lessons again. It's like I said, it's a parent planet. And these lessons will, once you're out of the 2.5 year cycle, they'll stay with you for life. With your 10th house, again, it is, like I said, a house of accolades. It's a house of your career. So a lot of hard work, Aquarians, a lot of hard work. It is no longer just going to be just ideas or just conversations, but there is going to be some serious hard work that is going to be required. The 10th house also speaks about, with Saturn being there, with careful progress, with steady progress being there. This house is also, traditionally, it speaks about, it relates to your father, because he is looked upon as the first coach who trained you for the lessons in life. However, it could be your mother as well who could have done that for you. We have Uranus and Pluto square that happens on the May 21st and on the November 1st, and the last of this square was seen in the 60s, and that is the time we had a lot of rights, we had gay rights, we had a lot of awakening, political awakening. We had people getting up and asking for what it is was theirs rightfully, a lot of influence on the rock music, a lot of unconventionality, and a lot of sudden outburst of new avenues of work that had got opened up in 60s. And 2013 has a strong flavor of 60s as well. Uranus is astrology's wild boy. He is also known as the awakener. He stands for everything that has to do with chaos, rebellion, independence. And wherever he goes, he tends to shake up things quite a bit. And Uranus is going to be transiting your 3rd house. That is a house for learning. It is a house for travel. It is how it is that you interact and deal with people in your neighborhood, in your community, your extended family, and even your siblings. Now, Pluto is a planet of truth and transformation, and Pluto is going to be again making you look at all these relationships for what they really are. They could be a little bit of not really a friction, but there could be aspects in a sibling that you will see them as they are and you may not like them. They could be, maybe I think, not really an expectation per se, but they could be things which you thought would be outgrown as a sibling grew or as time went by. But now you realize, when you look at your sibling or when you look at the extended family, that certain things are not going to be changing. They are the way that they are shown to you, and this could lead to a bit of a chaos, in you, because Uranus in your third house is going to be bringing about quite exciting changes in your day-to-day life. You will be interacting and meeting up with a lot of different people, and there could be around your neighborhood, really, around your community, new ideas, new learnings, and this also it also deals with old school mates. So there could be some reunion. You may suddenly come across some friends you have not met since school or some college, and it could quite be pleasant. Like I said, it could, with Uranus being there, it could cause some amount of uh, suddenness or some amount of chaos into that part of it. Uranus, however, brings about innovation. It's just going to make you question your again your conditioning as to how it is that you look at certain relationships which are not your immediate ones, but like I said, siblings, cousins, extended families, could be friends as well, and you could question them, and you could look at them with new eyes. Neptune is there in your second house. Second house is about your earned income. It is how it is that you supplement your income. It is how it is that you enhance your work. And Neptune is a planet of inspiration, is a planet of in the Roman history. He is known as the god of, or rather the sea god, because in all the depths of the ocean you find all the mysterious, the secrets, the exotic things that are there. And when it moves into a very practical part of the house, it could make you slightly delusional. So try to look at things, try to look at projects, especially if you're working on a project that has to do with a lot of say business planning, or a business project that you're putting together. Take a very realistic look at it, or have another colleague look at it. Try not to get too carried away by the entire beauty of the project, and not I wouldn't say worrying about the implication, but don't idolize it so much. You could get deluded by it. Also, on the other side, try not to mislead people. If there is an aspect of a certain thing that you see at your workplace, do address it. Do sort of take a second opinion onto it. We have a new moon towards the end of the year. This is around the 26th. And the new moon is going to be happening in your sixth house. That's quite a mundane house. That has to do with your day-to-day chores. It has to do with things that need to get fixed around the house. It has to do with your health. It just speaks about getting things fixed, getting your health fixed. So if there have been minor complaints, recurring headaches, backaches, do visit a doctor, get it sorted out. Do not procrastinate. It's a good time to be taking care of yourself and fixing all these things. So if there are chores, if there's stuff, bills to be paid, and the to-do list is like a 10-pager thing, start crossing it out, Aquarians. Overall, seems to be a very interesting year. Of course, it has its own unique challenges and its uniqueness about it, but I would say a very, very interesting year, better than 2012. Now that you have your rose colored glasses that are off you, you're looking at things the way that they are supposed to be, and transformation and change is a very critical aspect for you again this entire year, Aquarians. Try not to fight it, try not to question it too much, and try not to get too aggressive about it. Embrace it and flow with the change, rather be the change. I'll see you again in February, and thank you so much for watching.